Hi, everybody. Welcome to Six Questions with Alana. That's me. And today we have with us Michel Gervais, our wonderful, fabulous ballet teacher and choreographer for Performing Dance Ensemble. Hi, Michel.
Hi, Alana.
So first question is, what first drew you to choreograph in general? Like, what was your first experience with choreography?
Oh my God. My first experience with choreography was probably doing like sing-alongs at school and just going like, no, this person should stand there. And, like things like that, It was like, I don't know, it feels like it's always been a part of my life. I choreographed for plays before I choreographed for dance. And I mean, as soon as I started dancing, it was always, about creating stuff and that sort of thing. And that's, as a dancer, that's always what I did, was work with choreographers. And I loved just the whole creative process.
Yeah.
So I think even in a club, I'm always choreographing. Dancing.
Well, you go over here.
I mean, back in my club days. But like you were creating, you were choreographing, you were just being inspired by the music and how does it make you move and, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I loved going out to the clubs. I would like dance all day and then I'd go clubbing all night and just be like, find a dark corner and just groove to the music all night. It's crazy.
Coming up with new works for the next day.
Yeah. All that kind of thing.
Oh, I love that. So with choreography, what movement style do you most enjoy choreographing and or teaching?
Well, I love teaching ballet because it has the rules to get your body ready to do almost anything. You know what I mean? For me, that's kind of like my base and where my structure. And then from that structure, I like to just tear it apart. And just where do we go from here? And then I find too, which has been really interesting for me for 8 years I've been at IVC now, something like that.
So yeah.
And compared to like working with professional dancers or like this kind of stuff, when you have dancers who are maybe a little limited in, their knowledge. I mean, they just haven't been studying it that long or, that sort of thing. It makes you be more creative. And it makes you find maybe some different ways of moving you hadn't thought of before.
Yeah.
Or, so that's been an interesting challenge for me. And I think it's actually produced some of my best works.
Yeah.
That way. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Because you've been teaching at IVC so long, you're very qualified to answer our next question. What benefits do you see teaching dance in an academic setting versus a non-academic setting? What benefits do you see that provides?
Oh, that's really interesting. I mean, one of the good things is that you have a lot of opportunities. I mean, we teach different styles and we teach different styles in like the studio setting and that sort of thing, but we actually have classes that are truly about the history of dance and we, and all of this stuff. So we bring more to the table than just the steps.
Yeah.
We try to teach them a little bit where it comes from and why we do this, why we do that. And, even like I go into the history of the names of some of the steps.
Yeah.
Things like that in the class setting, which I probably wouldn't do in a like commercial studio atmosphere.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You get a chance to be more in depth too.
More in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have all the other stuff around you too.
Yeah.
Because like you can go see the singers, you can go see the musical theater people.
Yeah.
Like you have access to all of that. And if it becomes a nice little, and I think we're pretty good about that. I see like a little arts community.
Oh, absolutely.
Encourages each other. So that's a different kind of exposure that you get, in the academic world too. And because you are surrounded by different kinds of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, getting into the piece, will you tell us a little bit of the storyline idea behind your piece, TaDa?
TaDa. Well, it's interesting because I forget what the theme was, but I know Jennifer, our chair, had decided to do a theme for a performance.
Mm.
So she asked everybody to pick music within a certain kind of
Yeah.
theme. And I think it was like New Orleans and jazz and
Yeah.
this kind of thing, right? And so I decided, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go like way, way back, you know. And I found these from the 1912s and all this kind of stuff. And then I found this song.
Mm.
And as soon as I heard the song, I was like, oh my God, this is really fun.
Yeah.
But it's really funny. And I started right away. It made me feel like I was at a circus.
Yeah.
I just really, I mean, it's that circus music, but it reminded me slightly of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, that could be really, really fun. And then I just had the idea about the tightrope on the bungee cord, and you know, and then it just went from there.
Yeah.
But basically, so I had this kind of a little bit of a plan and an idea in my head that I was going to do it, and I was going to make it comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't going to be like serious tightrope work, or you know, like kind of thing. Because to me, the music was also had a comedic feel to it. I know it wasn't meant as a comedic piece of music, and I don't mean that it is. But
yeah.
Comedy in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided I was going to go kind of slapstick.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was driving from my house to work when I got a phone call from my mother and then from my sister on the same drive. My father was probably going to pass away that weekend.
Yeah.
I usually start on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
I got that news right before I walked into the room.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, my sister was bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
And I need this right now. I got to go to work. You know? Like,
I got to teach.
Like, I have to do comedy now.
Oh, yeah.
And seriously, I don't know why. Maybe my dad inspired me, and I did kind of, I dedicated it to him.
Yes,
you know?
Of course. Yeah.
And because he just really enjoyed when we would be silly and just have fun, you know, that kind of thing. And so, but I walked into the room and I was like, okay, like, and I told the kids, like, sorry, I just got this phone call. Just give me a second to collect my, myself,
Yeah.
The thing. And then we started, and I created like 90% of it that day.
Oh my gosh.
It just came out.
Yeah.
It just like came out. This is really good therapy.
I love this. Yeah.
This is great, And so, that's really how like it got started. And then we finished the piece, and then COVID hit, and it didn't get to be performed.
Yes.
So it's actually kind of an older piece,
Mm-hmm.
It never got a chance to be on the stage, and it really meant a lot to me, this piece, because of the circumstances a little bit. And also, I was just really proud of it. I just liked it, and you don't see kind of slapstick comedy in dance very often. And I just felt like we needed a spirit lifter.
Yeah.
And last semester I did something really serious and a little depressing, and that kind of thing, because I had something to say. And this semester I was like, okay, let's just forget it all and have fun, and and laugh, kind of thing. And I think it was successful with that. And so, I mean, I was proud of this one.
As you should have been. It was, I mean, the whole, every night you heard the audience like cracking up, and then us backstage like giggling too. Like every time I watched it, I was still like, it was just so, you know what I mean? Like you just couldn't help but like giggle, and it was so fun. And just so, it reminds me of like when you're little making up dances with your friends. Yeah.
But with a different cast, it would not have been as effective.
No.
These performers were
100%.
Amazing.
It's perfect.
Beautiful personalities, and just went all out. They didn't hold anything back, and it's just wonderful. I was so happy with their work.
It was a perfect cast for that piece. It really was. It was brilliant. Tell us a little bit about how, because you used props and you also used your costumes in a really unique way. Can you tell us a little about how the costumes and props fed into the piece? Yeah.
So my kind of it like the idea a little bit, like the zone I wanted to put it in is kind of like 5 to 7 year olds putting on a circus for their friends in their garage.
Yes.
Kind of thing. It's just like, just so playful and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, why don't I just look through what we've got in the wardrobe? And I try to do that when I can, because I know It's very hard for our
Yeah.
people to get a lot of
Christina does so much.
Oh my God, she does so much work. It's so insane. You know, so I usually, unless I have a vision that I just have to have, you know, but I don't do that too often. I usually try to find something. And she was like, you know what? I have these costumes that I got from another place that they didn't want and whatever.
Yeah.
And it was actually just something that a company had put together for all these different majorette costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All made of Lycra and kind of stuff. So like all the marching band and like all that kind of stuff, you know, so they had, and so it was like pieces of the different costumes put into one costume.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I was like, it's awesome. And I found like 3, there were like 5 or 6 of them. And I found like 3 that I really liked. And so, yeah, that's how the costumes happen. And then the props, I was like, what do I want to do? And I did decide to try to create a more cozy space.
Mm-hmm.
I brought in the Traveler, which is mid-stage. So it cuts the stage kind of in half. It just feels like they're closer to you.
Totally.
You're more involved in it. And because of the black curtain and stuff, I wanted the bungee cord to stand out. So I decided to make the boxes just black.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I remember when I first did theater, we would just get black boxes and we had to imagine they were chairs, they were couches. Now it's a bed. And it's, you know, like that kind of thing. So it took me back to that too. And I was kind of like, yeah, it's a black box. It was a black box. And then the bungee cord's nice and bright and orange. And so the audience could see it. And, you know, and yeah.
The costumes were epic.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, they were so good.
Yeah.
And the bungee, like just the prop play that the dancers were able to do on that was so good. It was, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
All right, on to our last question, number 6. Do you have any advice for students who are interested in performing with us at Irvine Valley College?
Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Ballet is Right. No, I mean, really, I think everybody who comes and experiences IVC has a really good time. It's not just about that. I've seen some dancers really develop from having some talent to becoming artists, you know, and really truly becoming performers and learning to give their whole, you know, and not hold back and like all this kind of stuff. And of course, their technique improves like so much year by year, you know. And the ones who really get involved and perform with us and do all that stuff, I see those improvements happen so fast. And that's always our joy as teachers. Yeah. Right. Is seeing our dancers really improve and go like, I think they're going to be good enough to get a job. You know, like, you know, like stuff like that. You know, we want them out there in the industry and you know, bringing their creativity and everything that they do. And I do think that even for people who don't have a whole lot of experience, we've been able to really help a lot of students achieve some goals, you know, and feel like they really got to do something with the art form that they love. And I think we're all very proud of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, that was it. That was all 6 questions. Thank you, Michel, for doing this.
You're very
welcome.
Appreciate it.
And we hope everyone enjoys his piece, TaDa. You'll be saying it for the rest of the day after you watch it. All right, Michel, thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.